Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I'd known about life to help you graduate to the next level in your own. Today is another episode of the Morning Commute where I take my drive to work in the morning to share a short but powerful message with you to help you kick your day off on the right foot. And today's lesson is this: I am entitled to be angry. The other day, I got home after doing a bunch of chores, had a car full of groceries, and I pulled into my apartment complex's parking lot. I get down to the end of this one lane, which is a dead end, and there's a couple pylons at the end of it that are yellow with warning tape on them just so people don't go driving through them, which apparently didn't stop somebody. Somebody knocked one of them over a week ago. But I pull up to them and I double park. People often do this just to unload because parking can be tough to find, so you don't want to walk so far. So I pull up, I double park, and I put my car into park, pull out my phone, shooting a text off to my girlfriend real quick. 30 seconds to a minute later, my car shakes, I hear a thud, and I hear a screeching kind of metal grinding noise. And I look back to my right, and a Honda CR-V has backed up into the back right of my car. And I get out, and I'm trying to keep calm, because I know in these moments the adrenaline pops up, the adrenaline shoots up, and it can just be an overreaction emotionally based off the intensity of the situation. So keep in mind, this is going to happen in your life in all kinds of ways, and just having that momentary check of like, hey, you might be stressed, you might be angry, you might not have wanted this to happen, but just keep it in check with like, if you fly off the handle and yell at someone and just flip a shit, it's like, what does that really benefit you or them? It's like, oh, I need to get this emotion out. There's ways to get it out without you unloading on somebody else. There are lots of times where people use other people as their emotional release valve. It's much healthier to find other ways, like literally something I've done. Go into the wood, like go to Pottery Barn, not Pottery Barn because that'd be expensive as hell. Go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, whichever one actually costs $1. Buy a bunch of pots, plates, pans, mirrors. Yes, we bought mirrors. No, I don't think it's bad luck. Buy a bat and go destroy them in the woods. We brought an axe, a bat, we brought an ice pick, or not an ice pick, but just a pick, and really bring up your anger and let it all go. Go to the gym and bring up the things that piss you off and use them as fuel for your workout. Go to the gym and hit a heavy bag. Literally just take it, like, oh, I don't have a heavy bag. I don't go to a gym. Grab a pillow, bring up the anger. Like, don't be afraid of it. Bring it up and then just lean in and beat the hell out of a pillow, scream into a pillow. You might think these things sound crazy. They're kind of nuts, Brian. I don't want to seem crazy. I don't want people to think I'm nuts. I would much rather people think whatever the fuck they want to, and you don't carry around this anger and this fire and this pain and repress that shit, because that's what leads to explosions in moments that don't deserve it on people who don't deserve it. It might feel good, and honestly, there are times where people have experienced that their whole life, and now they want to fire it back at somebody else as kind of a retribution, and they feel like they deserve to deliver this to somebody else. Guys, in the long run, it only hurts you. So, that little aside, but boom, car hits me, screeching metal. Wasn't crazy intense because it was just somebody backing out, but you could hear just the grinding sound. And there's always that moment in these intense situations where your brain goes, that did not just happen. No way. Nope, my car did not just get hit. I am not going to have to deal with all that. And then the realization sets in and you're like, son of a bitch. All right, now I've got to do all this work. It's going to take insurance. I get out of the car and I'm walking around. I'm kind of bracing like, oh God, I'm like, maybe it'll just be scratches. I get there. It's a big dent and scratches around it. I mean, probably about the size of a softball, but a very noticeable dent. And the woman who got out of her car says, oh, my backup camera didn't beep at me. And so I'm like, keep it cool. That almost set me off. I'm like, you're kidding. Like, you were looking for the backup camera beeping. You didn't look at it, and you didn't look at your mirrors. And so that, I'm like, all right, dude, I was like, I'd like your insurance. I'm doing a good job keeping it cool. And then we're going through this whole conversation, and then she starts to go, well, did you just come flying up? And it's impossible to fly up. It's a dead end. I would literally have to slam into a post to be able to fly up there. So I was like, that's literally impossible. And then she goes, it's illegal to park there. And at that point, I lost it a little, not lost it, but I let the anger come out a little bit because I want to make that distinction. Because for me, I used to repress anger, repress, because I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want to upset people. I said, oh, no, it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me. I would make all these excuses for myself when really it did. Versus allowing my anger to come up in the moments that justified it without losing control, because it's a big distinction. So what that would look like is I put my hand out. I said, stop, you're liable. Like, because she was trying to find ways to put blame on me when she knew she made a mistake because she was emotional. So, and we all do this, guys. When we get emotional, our ego wants us to be right. So we all try to point the finger. We all want to be like, ooh, well, no, that's why I'm not wrong. And in reality, we know we didn't. When we cool down, that's why you'll see people snap and then come back and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I really overreacted. That's where that emotion comes from. So we all do this. I get where it's coming from, but I also wasn't about to let her continue to just run down this thing and try to light into me, because an important thing is we teach people how to treat us. So you don't have to overreact, but you also don't have to get stepped on. These are important things I've learned because I struggled with them most of my life and really worked on them in my adulthood, because there's no need to get bullied or feel walked on when you can just step up, defend yourself, but defend yourself without going off the rails. So did that. And as soon as, again, in these situations, if someone's trying to attack, and you just calmly put them, like, calmly but firmly let a little bit of the anger out, let it come or let it go. You also don't hang on to that anger. You're free of it. And then she immediately realized either that she was overdoing it or just backed down because she realized I wasn't going to take that. So could be either one, but either way. We go through all this, get the insurance, I go home. Later, I see that I've gotten a call from her son, and he says, hey, she didn't copy down the information properly, and I need pictures of your insurance and your license. So here's what I could have done. I could have just texted him and said, hey, here's the pictures, and be done with it, realizing that us talking has no benefit. But I was like, you know what, I'll give him a call. And here's what happened. Part of me goes, oh, I'm just calling let's see if we can work it out or talk it out. Because honestly, I would love to be able to talk through things and work through things and be on a good plane and everything be cool. But another part of me wanted to be angry. Because again, this is what happens when you don't let the anger out. It wants to find an outlet. So I know there was a part of me that was kind of hoping this guy would be a dick and then I could just flip a shit. But I knew I wouldn't let myself. So it's this amazing kind of web of emotions pushing and pulling on themselves. So I call, we start talking. I say, hey, I'll send over the information. He goes, great. I try to be like, hey, man, I understand. This is why this happened. And then he comes back with something. I get angry and say, all right, let's just stop it here. He says, okay, we hang up. And then I'm fired up about it. And for the rest of the day, I was like, I should be mad about this. I should be thinking about this. I should be stewing on this and having what my dad calls monologue dialogues, meaning I'm sitting there and I'm going over the story over and over in my head. And then I'm going to play both parts of the dialogue by myself. And then I'm going to say that he said this and then I said that. And I've done this most of my life. Like just sat there, lying in bed awake, or driving in the car, stewing and stewing and stewing. So the first thing is I didn't even have to I created that situation. I think partly because that's where I'm used to being, and maybe that's a habit loop that I was trying to stay in. Like, this is where I'm comfortable, even though I don't like it. Then additionally, I realized not only did I not have to do it that way, I could have done differently. And I was like, and also right now in this moment when I'm trying to justify being angry and staying angry and creating reasons that don't exist to be angry, I was like, I can choose not to. So for the whole night, I just had to battle away from it. I had to catch myself in the thought starting to go down the chain and be like, nope, this isn't going to ruin my day. This isn't going to ruin my night. It's really not a big deal. The insurance will take care of it. And I started going, well, what if the insurance is a nightmare? What if you have this huge battle? I've heard people go through that. And I was like, or it could be easy. Let's let reality tell us. Let's not imagine every possible outcome. And it helped. It wasn't easy, and there's still times where I started to go down the path and I catch myself, but what I want to bring up with this whole story is, where are you justifying being angry, sad, upset, depressed? Where are you defending your right to stay in a place you don't want to be? Because I don't want to be there sitting furious over little things. And here's the interesting part, guys. I got a call yesterday from the other person's insurance company saying, hey, they've accepted liability. We're going to take care of the repairs. You'll get a rent-a-car. Like, literally everything is going to be taken care of, and I don't need to worry about a thing. But yet I spent probably like a combined hour or more stewing about it, thinking about what I should have said and what I could have said and all this. It's like, guys, it's not worth it. There are things worth fighting for in life, and then there's other ways. Hey, we don't need to fight. You're liable. I'll take your insurance. We'll let them do it. That's what they exist for. So where in your life are you defending your right to be in a place you don't want to be? Where can you catch yourself? What can you do to make yourself aware and call yourself on it when it happens? And then the next step is either move to an empowering thought, or just simply say, no, man, I'm not going there. And let your mind take you wherever it wants to go. So I want to thank you all for joining me today on this morning commute. If you haven't already subscribed to this podcast, please do so on iTunes or Stitcher. And if you would like to give recommendations, feedback, share any ideas or funny stories that come up for you relating to these messages that I'm sharing, I'd love to hear from you at brian@overcominggraduation.com. And if you just want to learn more about overcoming graduation in general, you can visit overcominggraduation.com. But be sure to subscribe, like, share, put this out to other people. If this is something that you know a friend could benefit from, tag them in it, because that is one of the best ways to help me get these messages out to more people and to help you share more good in the world. So thank you all for listening today. I love you guys. I appreciate you joining me on my morning commute, maybe yours as well. And I will talk to you all again real soon.